Good morning. This recording is for Chapter 11, Lesson 4 of Algebra 1, Adding and Subtracting Rational Expressions. Most of you guys will think this is pretty easy because it's just like adding and subtracting fractions. You must have a common denominator before you can add and subtract. But first, let's talk about an easy situation where we actually have a common denominator, like a over c plus b over c. Well, since there's common denominators, in this case both c, all we have to do is add a and b. And there we go. So if we do it with actual numbers like 2 over x plus 3 plus 5 over x plus 3, the denominators are the same, so we just add the numerators. So it would be 2 plus 5 over x plus 3, and we're going to get 7 over x plus 3. And that's our final answer. So if we have another problem, which is 7b minus 2 over 3b plus 6, minus b plus 7 over 3b plus 6. The denominators are the same, so I can go ahead and subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and add the opposite right there. So I turn the subtraction sign into an addition sign and took the opposite of everything after it in the numerator. So it would be negative b plus negative 7. Then I'm going to write them all over the same denominator, add the opposite, simplify. The thing is I can simplify one more time. I can pull out a 3 out of both the 6b plus negative 9 and a 3 out of 3b plus 6. And I'm going to get that. And there we go, simplified. Alrighty, let's go ahead and look at the next one. Unlike denominators, now just like with regular simple fractions, we have to find a least common multiple, so that we can find the least common denominator. So that we can change the denominator, or the fraction, so that the denominator is common to the other denominator. And sometimes you're going to have to change both, and sometimes you're only going to have to change one. So let's go find the LCM, so that we can then find the LCD. Well, the LCM for both of these would be 21y to the second. They already have a y to the second in common. It's what they don't have in common that we need to fix. Sorry about that, I hit the wrong button and it stopped the recording. Okay, so again, we need to get them all, the denominators to look like 21y to the fourth, because they already have a y to the second in common. Alright, so let's go ahead and make the first one look like that. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3 for the first fraction, and then for the second one I'm going to multiply everything by 7y to the second, because that's what 3y to the second doesn't have to make it look like 21y to the fourth. So let's go ahead and do the math. And we've got 9 over 21y to the fourth and 14y to the second over 21y to the fourth. And again, you don't want to simplify this because the whole point was to get a common denominator. Now that we have a common denominator, we can add. Yay, common denominator. Now you can add. Yay. All right, so we end up with 9 plus 14y to the second over 21y to the fourth. And really, you should put this in standard form. So really the answer is 14y to the second plus 9 over 21y to the fourth, but you knew that already. Okay, moving on to my next example. We have 5 over 12b plus 15 over 36b to the second. The common denominator would be 36b to the second, so we need to make that 12b look like 36b to the second. So I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by the same number, which would be 3b. And I'm going to end up with 15b over 36b squared plus 15 over 36b squared. Common denominator, so I can add. And there's really nothing I can pull out of that. Sorry. That's as simplified as it gets. Kind of excited about that though, huh? All right. So we can do this with two terms. And in that case, the common denominator would be the two terms multiplied together. So if my two terms were t plus 4 and t minus 1, the common denominator would be t plus 4 times t minus 1. Pretty easy, cheesy, lemon squeezy. So I'm going to make the first fraction 5 over t plus 4 to look like t plus 4 times t minus 1. So I'm going to multiply everything times t minus 1. I'm going to do the same thing with the second fraction, but instead of multiplying by t minus 1, since it already has a t minus 1, I'm going to multiply by t plus 4. There we go. All right, I'm going to distribute my numerators and rewrite them with my common denominator. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So 5t plus negative 5 plus 3t plus 12 is really equal to 8t plus 7 over t plus 4 times t minus 1. So this one's actually pretty easy because really you're just multiplying the two denominators together to get your LCD. It's actually easier probably than the last one. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about airplanes. The distance between Atlanta, Georgia and Albuquerque, New Mexico is about 1,270 miles. The ground speed for jet traffic from New Mexico to Georgia can be about 12% faster than the ground speed the other direction because of westerly winds and high altitude. Use R for a jet's ground speed. Write and simplify an expression for the round trip airtime. So, all of you all should be very familiar with the rate times distance, or rate times time equals distance formula. It should be ingrained into your brain like no one's business. All right? So if we use this formula, we can actually find the time, because that's what we want. We want to be able to add the two times to figure out the total time of a round trip of a round trip. There we go. All right. So if we divide by r, we're going to get t is equal to the distance over r. So let's find the time it takes to go from New Mexico to Georgia. Well, that's the distance divided by the rate. Well, the rate is about 12% faster than the rate going from Georgia to New Mexico. So that's why we have 1.12 r, because it's 12% faster. If it was just the same speed, it would be 1 times r, but it's not. It's 12% faster. All right, so we have the times of my two trips, and so if we add them together, we can't quite add them together just yet because they don't have common denominators. But we can do that easily by multiplying the second fraction by 1.12 to get common denominators. Check that out. All right, then we just add the numerators and then divide by 1.12 so that we can get r by itself, and that would be the actual time. Now, the cool thing about this formula is that it really doesn't matter how fast the jet's going. We just know that it's 12% faster when it's going from New Mexico to Georgia thanks to that westerly wind. All right, so my jet could be going 500 miles per hour, and the r is what's going to change each time. But no matter what, going from New Mexico to Georgia, the time's going to be 12% faster. Okay? All right, I'm done. Are you happy for short videos? I am. Bye.